this again is I want you to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, whatever your social media platform is. I'm going to be posting some of our videos on the hashtag. No, I actually, thanks for reminding me about that, but on the hashtag, oh gosh, what is it? It's ours here. It's JNMTY. Okay, there's another one. Time to Begin. Time to Begin is the one that we've been using. Or some of us have. Anyway, okay. So if you don't mind, let's we'll do some posts and stuff later on when we get back to the hotel, things like that. That really helps us out a lot. Okay. For those of you that don't know, my name is Ken. I'm the founder of Waters Life, and today what I want to do is I'm going to talk to you guys about some of the emerging technologies. I also want to hear about what's happening in your area, and if there are some ways that we maybe could partner together with your school or your organization to help bring clean water to areas that are in desperate need. How many of y'all remember how many people are going to die today because they don't have clean water?
6,500.
6,500. How many of those are kids? 5,000 of them. Great. I'm glad you remembered that. I want that to be burned into your brain, that every day around the world, there are 5,000 kids that are not going to make it because they don't have clean water. And it's something that we take for granted. How many of y'all go to your tap at home and you think, oh my gosh, if I brush my teeth with this water, I might get sick and have to go to the hospital? Anybody? No? Maybe? Yeah? How about at the hotel? No, I won't pick at the hotel. But yeah, it says it's clean water, but I wouldn't drink the water, but that's just me, okay? Take a bottle of water back with you. But we really appreciate you guys coming out today. We're going to talk about a few things. I want to have some time for questions and answers and for us to be able to dialogue. So I want to dive into a couple of things really quick. First of all, time to begin, right? The video that I wanted to show, is there any of the group that was from San Francisco? The Ethiopia kids. Right, okay. I want to show you, I got the video to work this time, so I want to show you this is a daily occurrence. This is a brother-sister team, and they are in Ethiopia. They go into a little creek bed, and they fight the bees, and they get water. See the little bottle of water that she's getting there? That's every day for them. That's their only water source. So we're doing a video campaign about putting a positive spin on family things and family issues in Ethiopia. We'll be releasing a video here pretty soon, and we would appreciate your help spreading the word about it. The little boy video that I showed you yesterday, I just found out yesterday afternoon that we won one of the top 30 Do Good awards in advertising. And so, pretty cool. One of the things that I'm impressed with what you guys have been doing has been the way that you incorporate video, the way that you incorporate pictures and media into your presentation. It really helps to convey a powerful message. And so I want to encourage you, continue to think out of the box. We have some really creative people that help us out. We get most of our videos and things donated to us for free. And so it's been really an amazing partnership with a couple of different groups and organizations. I want to share with you one that we just released not too long ago that is starting to go viral. It's about the girl who couldn't cry. We're taking a little girl out of India in the slums, and we're basically telling parts of her story. It's so graphic we can't tell all of the story, but you have to listen carefully. But I want you I want to introduce you to the girl who couldn't cry.
When I was born into the slums of India, I didn't cry. When my family needed me to work, I didn't cry. I didn't cry when I found out what my mother's real job was. Or when I watched my brother die.
story is impacting India in a powerful way. Quick, just brief introduction of who she is, but the impact of not being able to have water in a developing country has a huge impact on people, and it makes desperate situations even worse. For us, I get asked, okay, how do you get partnered up with people and different groups and organizations? So for us, it's about those strategic partnerships with people just like you that have a heart to help the people in their area. So I wanted to kind of go through phase one. What we do is we go into areas where there are needs that exist. We listen to the people. We begin to explore with them ideas of solutions and ways that we can be of assistance. We have a lot of tools. We call it tools in our arsenal. Things that we can do as far as water purification, water treatment, wastewater treatment, and from drilling wells to all of those kind of things. But then we find some key leaders. We create WASH groups, or WAG groups, Water Association groups, that help us then with helping the community make the changes. For us, sanitation and hygiene go hand in hand, because I can provide clean water, but if people are openly defecating, then that is going to come right back into their water source. And so what we want to do is we want to begin to shift in these underdeveloped countries, begin to shift the mindset from open defecation to being able to use, we call them VIP toilets that actually trap flies and keep the germs from spreading from one place to the other. We do a lot of fun things with kids when we're in schools teaching about hygiene. One of my favorite things is we'll have a couple of people that have some glitter on their hands, just normal glitter. You guys all know what glitter is, right? Okay. But in a lot of places that we're at, they have never seen glitter before in their lives, and so glitter is a freak out for them. And so you just go around and shake hands, hey, how you doing, man? And all of a sudden, everybody in the room is got glitter on them, and people are looking at it and they're going, oh my gosh! And he's teaching people how easily germs are passed by using something so simple as glitter. And it is. It's one of those things that really blows some of the people's minds. So for us, finding key leaders. Any Rotarians here? Anybody parents in the Rotary clubs in your countries? Okay, a few of you, yeah. Rotary Club International is a great partner with us. We do a lot of things with them. We're in the process of a big grant from them. We're transforming 290 villages in northern Ghana, providing water, sanitation, and hygiene for them. This is a group of guys in Haiti that we were working with, and we were actually taking some of the Rotary clubs. Actually take sponsor filters, and they'll put their club name on it, put the name of their speaker, whoever, however they're doing it. And so we have a lot of fun with that, because what I can do is then I can go to community leaders halfway around the world and say, there are community leaders in the United States, or in Canada, or in Mexico, or in other areas that they thought enough to send you your own filter. It has the name of somebody that's special to them, a speaker or whatever. It has the name of their club, and it identifies that as the leader of that community's filter itself. So then for us, phase two is coming in with some sort of sustainable solution. This filter buys us 12 months worth of time to help provide clean water. I had a couple of people say, well, are you going to show us how it works? Well, it's really easy how it works out. I freaked out the janitorial staff because I went into the bathroom and I actually pulled some water out of the toilet. So I made a nice bacteria cocktail here. And you want to drink? But the filters are really, really simple. It's like a giant straw. And so you take. I also got a little dirt from outside. That's not poo, okay? All right. And so you just take it. The filter, as you look at the picture on there, it goes through a membrane which catches the big particulate. Okay? Rocks, pebbles, sticks, guinea worm. In Ghana, we fight a lot with guinea worm. And yes. Because it catches it in the membrane, and so that stops it from coming in. So right in here, right in there, it keeps it from getting caught. So As the water stages through, it goes through the membrane, it goes through a medical grade polyiodine crystal that kills the bacteria, or as my girls call it, creepy crawlies in the water, and then it has a charcoal, activated charcoal filter at the end that cleans it up and makes it taste good. Mm-hmm. It stages through there, so it does take a little bit of time to go through, and then as it gets exposed to like the iodine and stuff, then it kills the bacteria in the water. Yeah? Clean the straw. That is a great question. So what we do is we teach the kids. Now these will actually last a little bit longer than a year, okay? The components inside of it are designed to last more than that. But what we say is it's good for 3 liters of water every day for a year, okay? But if they take really good care of it, and what we do is we teach them how to back flush, okay? So you back flush, you go like this. And so you see a little bit of the water comes out. Then what we do, we call it sleeve. 5 or 6 times like this. And what that does is that takes the water and that forces the water back through the membrane. And that clears that some of that particulate out. So if there was a lot of dirt stuck in the water, then it cleans it out. And then put the cap on, yes. Whenever they get a drink, put the caps on, put it back around their neck, and you're good to go. Yes, ma'am.
Was your background in this, or did you work with a specific group of people to develop that prototype, or?
I'm an old backpacker, and so what we did is we took old backpacker technology, just combined it and put it in the kid-proof package. Because you know what? Boys are boys around the world, and they're going to sword fight with anything they got. And so, we've gone through the process of making replaceable cartridges and things like that. But you know what? Kids are kids, and they're going to tear stuff apart. So anyway, we've got this all sealed up, so it makes a pretty bulletproof package for them. Yes, sir. No. Once it's gone through a 12-month cycle, and we color code them so that we know whenever we go into different places. But what our goal is with those is, I look at it as a Band-Aid. Okay, Band-Aid is a temporary solution, right? So you put a Band-Aid onto a cut, scratch, or something like that to keep from getting infection, and but then you may have to do something else to it, right? So you may have to go to the hospital, or you may have to go have a little surgery or something done. And so for us, that comes into phase 2. That comes into sustainable solutions. And so we use a lot of different things to help bring about sustainability in those communities. Some of the areas that we work in, we do rainwater catchment. Are you guys familiar with that? Where people catch the rainwater, they maybe keep it in rota tanks or maybe in big dugouts, like a big pond and things like that. The problem with some of those dugouts and rota tanks is they grow bacteria. Okay, especially if they're not helping the animals stay out of it. And so for those areas where we maybe can't drill a borehole well, we're able to come in with different types of filtration. So we have all kinds of different filtration, and I'm going to show you one that I think is really, really cool. What we did, we have a relationship with a manufacturer that makes kidney dialysis filters. Okay, and so this is it's called a nano. We call it our nano filter, but it's a bucket system, and it literally this is the kit right here. This will provide on demand about 1 liter per minute, and it'll last for years if they take care of it. So literally, I can take anything and turn it into a water purifier. This is one of my favorite restaurants back in the States. It's called the Rib Crib. A lot of great food there. Pop it in, and that is a water purifier. It'll purify water at about 1 liter per minute. For just like here, we are impatient in getting clean water. That's the same way it is in other places. We've used a lot of different things, ceramics, biosands. We use a lot of different kinds of technology. But this one has been, we've got these in thousands and thousands of homes all around the world and are having great success. What it does is it allows, the tube allows gravity to force it through the filter. And so the filter, if you look at it, at this diagram, the clean water is coming into the filter, and there are loops of nanotubes that have microscopic holes in them at 0.01 micron. And so it's a physical barrier. Are you guys familiar with the RO system? Okay, we won't talk about that. It's similar to an RO system, but it requires a whole lot less pressure and doesn't create a lot of waste. So anyway, you run the water through. It uses the gravity of a meter-long tube to force the water through the nanotube. The clean water comes out that end, and then what we do is we have them save enough clean water to then back flush the filter. So drain the water, all the dirty water out, put the filter back on the other direction, pour a cup of clean water through it, and it'll back flush all the impurities out of the filter. It is one of the simplest, but one of the most effective tools that we have in helping families get the water that they need. There's some other folks. These are some of my favorite folks in the Maasai area. They just for FYI, they make their houses. The ladies make them, by the way. Make them out of cattle dung, so it's kind of stinks pretty good. This is one of the little guys in the. I think that's Maasai. And then this is we can also use ceramics as well in that. Yeah, I see a question.
Is there any limit to how dirty the water can be?
The turbidity of the water, if it's really, really cloudy and really dark, what we'll do is we'll pre-treat some of that with a little bleach. How many of y'all have access to bleach in your country? Everybody does. It's the same thing all around the world. We can get bleach anywhere, and so it's a real simple way to be able to. Are you familiar with shocking a swimming pool? What Dad does is he goes out and throws a handful of crystal into the pool, and shocks it, and all of the sediment drops down to the bottom. Have you seen that? Yeah. And so that's basically the same thing that we're doing. Is we're shocking the water with a little bit of the bleach that allows that sediment to then set, and then we pull the clear water off and treat it. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. This filter will, both of those filters that we have will remove E. coli in the water. Yeah. Fecal material in water is a very common material, very common element on almost every level. Whether you're in the cleanest streams in Mexico, or whether you're halfway around the world someplace else, there's fecal material in the water. Yes. Do what? Oh, this one. We asked people to sponsor a home system for $40. Yeah, and what we do is we ask them to do that because what we do is we ship in the filters, but then what we'll do is we'll buy buckets in country, and then we've got to transport them and all that. Yeah, in the back. Okay, never mind. Yes, ma'am. There are some of the heavy metals that it won't do. The nanofilter will on some of the heavy metals.
And you test the water
before and after, yeah, absolutely. Yes?
What problem do you see with
Not usually. That's a great question. Depending on language barriers and depending on the people that we have on the ground, we have a great network of people that are bilingual that help us out with different areas in translations. Yes, ma'am.
How do you approach the
Great question. A lot of that is with strategic partners. And as we discover other villages, what happens is let me give you an example. The Maasai people are very stoic, very proud, really not open to strangers, not even people that are of the same color. Okay, and so if you're from a different area, and I'm as odd as they come. Okay, I look like Buddha. I got no hair. All that. So I stick out like a sore thumb everywhere I go. And but yet, what we found is because of relationship, and that's one of the things I want to tell you today. I believe that the number one most important word in the English language is relationship. The relationships that you build this week with friends here could last you a lifetime and could be some of your best friends in the entire world. Don't miss out on the opportunity to connect and to meet new people and make new friends. Relationships is the key. And so for us, building those kind of deep relationships where we're beginning to understand the culture. What we found is instead of being greeted by, stone cold people that, are just hard-hearted, just don't have anything to, all of a sudden we're like heroes. And what we found out is, these guys look like they come out of the Stone Age. They're dressed up, they got a big old knife in their belt, they got a stick, and but they got a leather pouch right here. You guys remember the little Nokia cell phones, the little candy bar phones? Yeah. That you had to go A, B, 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 to text. Well, they're texting the next village and telling them, we're coming. And we get a hero's welcome. It's really been an amazing transition, especially with the Maasai people, because it was initially a really hard area to break into. But that's a great question. Yes, ma'am.
Would you say you're one of the first things that changes in a village? Because I'm trying to think, were people going in with education first, or is it it seems to me like water is basically, it starts with you.
Exactly. Now, that's my humble but accurate opinion. Okay. A quarter won't buy you a cup of coffee, but I do believe that water truly is life. It's the building block. We can go without food, we can go without shelter, we can go without clothing, but you cannot live more than 3 days without water.
So you're kind of opening the way out.
So it opens the door, yeah. And it also creates a platform for us to be able to do other things. And so education is a great key of everything that we do. It's the thread that runs through everything. Because I can bring clean water, but if they don't treat it right, it doesn't do them any good. Or if they're still open defecating on the ground, or a lot of other things that are variables that come in. There's a village that we began working with about 10 years ago. A burned out little couple of huts falling down around their ears. A couple of kids living in there with a mama. She was basically starting an orphanage. Fast forward, we bring in water, one key element. We began building relationship and began doing other projects. Last year, we were able to open up a medical clinic. Today, we'll feed almost 700 kids there. Most of them, it's their only meal that they'll get for the whole day. We feed these kids from all the surrounding schools. They come in, they get clean water, they get good food, and then they go back to school. It's an amazing deal. We've got 150 kids in academy there, but it's one of those things where I can go back and I can tangibly see this is the exact thing that we want to do, is we want to make transformation, and it all starts beginning with water. Yeah. Yes, sir?
We have like a society, like a place where they don't have they only have clean water right now.
Do what now?
Like if there's like a place you help and they don't have clean water.
That they don't have clean water?
No, that they don't have any problem with water.
Oh, no problem with water. You know what? Most of the places that we're in, there's always problems with water. Yeah. Whether it's accessibility, and that's a real key thing, is having access to water. But then, what the quality of the water is after that. Okay? Yes?
Can it filter salt water?
That's a great question. Can it filter salt water? Desal is a whole different scenario. You're going to be hearing some more things in the news about desalinization. What I'm going to challenge you guys to do. Some of you guys any of you guys engineers in here kind of have that engineer hat? Okay. What I want you guys to do is I want you to figure out a desal solution for us. Okay? There are a couple of things that are out there. There's some things in California that they're working on right now. They've spent over $1 billion, and what they're going to do is they're going to trash ecosystem. It has effect on the plant life and on the eggs of the fish. Okay? What long term is that going to do to the ecosystem where they're dumping this stuff? It's going to kill everything off. And so I've got a feeling in the next 12 months you'll hear it rolls out, and then about 12 months later you're going to say, well, we just killed off half the fish, so we're going to shut this thing down. We've got to come up with a solution. RO systems, what they typically do is they use a tremendous amount of energy, which we have limited amount of, but to force it through a membrane filter. To create 1 gallon of RO water, you create 3 gallons of a highly caustic brine. And to dump that back into the ecosystem. And they're doing it a 5-to-1 mix. They're taking 5 parts seawater, 1 part of the brine water, and dumping it back in the ecosystem. And it will have a dramatic effect, I promise you that. So I need you guys that are engineers to do something for me. I need you right now to plug in your brain these things. How can we do desalinization? How can we make that possible for masses amounts of people? And there are ways that it can be done. There's a distillation process that the waste actually, you can pull it off and you can dispose of it a little bit easier. But it's a time-consuming. It takes a lot of energy. So you guys have to figure out some way that we can do desal and be able to tap into our largest resource of water, and that's the salt water that we have. Okay, I want to show you one thing real quick. Drinkable book. I showed you this yesterday. This is one of the coolest things. We're working with the university in the United States. This is taking old technology and putting it in something that is pretty cool. And I'll let the video explain it to you. But in our history in the United States, cowboys used to take their canteen and they'd drop some silver coins inside the canteen. They'd fill up the canteen along the river, they'd shake it up, and silver particles would fleck off of those coins. And what would happen is that silver then would kill the bacteria in the water and they wouldn't get sick. So what we did was we took old technology, updated it, and then it fits in with our passion too for teaching about sanitation as well.
3.4 million people die each year from water-related disease. But the even bigger problem, most of them don't even know their water is unsafe to drink in the first place. That's why the charity Water is Life, working alongside scientists and engineers, set out to invent a solution that solves both of these problems. Introducing the Drinkable Book, the first ever tool that teaches safe water habits and is printed on technologically advanced filter paper capable of killing deadly waterborne diseases.
After passing water through our filter, we found a reduction of greater than 99.9% in bacteria count, which is comparable to the tap water in this country.
This filter paper will revolutionise water purification. It costs only pennies to produce, making it by far the cheapest option on the market. And each book is capable of providing someone with clean water for up to 4 years. To learn how you can provide a filter book for a community in need, head to waterislife.com.
This is creating quite a buzz in the publishing community. This year, I got asked to come to Frankfurt to talk to the World Publisher Convention, about 300,000 people there. Mine was one of the only books that's not digital, and so my talk was why all innovation in publishing isn't necessarily digital. This is, each page has a half page, will provide a month's worth of clean water depending on the turbidity of the water. The water as it passes through gets exposed to the silver nanoparticles, but on each page we've got this in English, and I believe this one is Kiswahili. We have information about sanitation and hygiene on the pages as well. So pretty cool little deal. One of those things that is more of a novelty, but we're looking for our first distribution. It'll happen this year, and what we'll do is we'll go in. We're going to actually take those into a couple of different areas. We've been testing it in different locations around the world right now. It's a little slower. The thing is people's patience, it runs slim. So it's cool. It's a great idea. But as far as practical working relationship, this one works a whole lot better. But here's some of our buddies. For us, drilling water wells is one of the quick answers for many of the communities that we're working in. We use a variety of different types. Most places we use pumps that are readily available there. We work with different groups and organizations. We use giant drilling rigs. We also use a manual drilling system. If some of you guys are interested, one of the things that we're passionate about is not just giving a man a fish, but teaching them how to fish. Does that make sense? So that they can provide for themselves. So basically, for what I would pay for, like, these guys to come in, I can buy a kit that a group of oil and gas guys in Oklahoma developed that uses manual strength, brute strength, to drill a borehole well. And it is actually drilling a borehole well, cased and everything. It is really a cool deal. It takes a little bit longer, but I can train somebody how to do that in a week. And then they can drill a well a week in all the villages around them. It's pretty amazing. And so that's one of our goals. One of the other things that's really cool that is just coming out is utilizing some of the same technology, but even to a higher degree, the nanofilter technology. We have a deal called a SunSpring, and it is a community-wide system that'll provide 22,000 liters of ultra Water cleaner than the water we're drinking today. I promise you that. It is amazing water. So if you look at the right, that's the human hair. Now I don't have any, so I have to use my imagination. But if you look at the very bottom, that's the pore in the sunspring membrane. So no viruses, no bacteria can pass through. It is all self-contained. It's a low pressure, and so it requires not a whole lot of electricity. And so we're able to run it all on solar and wind power. And so it's a pretty amazing deal. So here's one in this is 80. The SunSpring systems are really cool. So we outfit them with solar panels. We also use wind turbines as well. In the next probably 2 months, you're going to see a video that releases from us on Kibera. Anybody familiar with Kibera? Nobody? Okay. Let me tell you about Kibera. Kibera is the world's largest ghetto. Depending on who you talk to, 1.5 million, 2 million people all crammed into this area outside of Nairobi. It's absolutely the most disgusting place that you can possibly imagine. But what we did was we got permission to do all this, but we hijacked some artwork out of Kibera that a French guy had painted pictures of people's faces, and as you flew over, you would see these on tarps. Well, the tarps were canvas tarps. Well, they didn't hold water, so what we did was we got real tarps that would actually seal their houses in. We bought the tarps from them, we brought them back, and we're using those to do a fundraiser to put in one of these community centers, a water kiosk.
I will pray for all the people of this land.
But it provides clean water, sanitation, hygiene training, becomes a community center. We also sell top-ups for cell phones because there's no grid there, and that's an income generator. Actually generate quite a bit of income per week. And so that kiosk then becomes a sustainable project on there. This is a brand new product that's just out. This is a, yes ma'am?
I'm wondering, when you have a kiosk like that, is it locals then?
Locals run it, yeah, absolutely, yeah. And what our goal is we want to help, but we want to empower. It's all about empowerment, and it's about giving them the responsibility. It's not our well, it's your well. We come in, we help you, we work together with you. When we drill a well, whether it's a commercial drill or not, we have the people there, they're involved, it is their deal. And so in some areas, it takes a little bit of time and a little practice to help people really get ownership. But when we create those water association groups, the WAG groups, that really helps out because then they begin to see themselves as the leaders in water and sanitation in their community. This is a portable system. For those of you guys that travel internationally or take teams internationally, this is a great solution. It's basically a backpack or a suitcase size, weighs about 50 pounds, but it's taking some of the same technology that's in our big centralized water processing plant, the SunSpring, boiling it down into a suitcase-sized unit that you can take into the field with you. This will do 1,000 gallons a day. It runs on solar, electrical, power, whatever you've got. It's got the capability to be able to do 1,000 gallons a day for group. For us, first phase is identifying and learning and meeting with key leaders. Second phase is sustainable solutions. And then for us, the third phase is ongoing transformation. And that may be in the form of micro businesses. We start soap factories, we start wash groups, we do wash stations, teaching sanitation and hygiene to the kids. We work with a lot of schools and different groups and organizations. To me, it's the impact of the kids. The chance that we get to sit and talk with them and to see the difference that it makes in their life to be able to have clean water. This is a group of ladies in Ghana that are making soap at one of our soap factories. Their soap factory, sorry about that. So for us, one of the things that's key is working with the community leaders and sitting down with them and mapping out where things are, where their bathrooms are, where their water supply is, where their crops are grown, where their homes are, and to begin to rethink some of the things that maybe that they're doing that are causing some of the issues that they're having. I wanted to show you a picture. This is part of the manual drilling system. We're actually pulling a pump out, but it just uses we have access and availability in most every country that we're in. All right, for me, this is the payoff right here. They chase us out of villages time after time. But guys, together is what I want you to understand is we're just an organization. We need people with hands and feet that can go and do, roll up their sleeves. The thing that is so exciting to me about this event and about you guys in particular is the tenacity that you have, the desire that you have to make a difference and an impact in the world. Your thing may not be water, and we talked a little bit about that yesterday. It may be something else, but keep in the back of your mind that water truly is the building block of life. People, we talk about education, we talk about all these other things. People can't hear you if they're not there. And so if we can provide them one of these clean building blocks to begin their lives on, it begins and sets them up for success later on down the road. The thing that's exciting to me is we go into areas where we've been, and we stay involved and ingrained in areas for long periods of time, for years at a time, until it becomes this totally sustainable project. And then we are able to go back because these are now friends that we are lifelong friends with. And so we see the transformation that takes place simply because of bringing that building block in. We see women that are working, that are, providing for their families. We see children that are back in school that previously, because they had to go collect water from someplace in the far north, were not able to do that. We see the transformation that takes place. I want you to begin to think about areas around your cities that may have a need for water, or areas that you feel passionate about as you begin to travel the world, as you begin to see things. Think of the water, whether it's with us or with somebody else. Begin to make water as a key part of what you're doing to bring health, happiness, and joy to the rest of the world. I want to open up the question for more questions. We've got a couple more minutes, okay? Yes?
After using it for the first time, that's where the 1 year starts.
Yeah. Yes? We donate, we give those kids the straws. And what we do is when we go into a village, like let's say it's a village of 100 kids, we'll take about 150 straws with us so that there are extra straws for in case somebody loses one or breaks one, and so that it doesn't become legal tender. That, I have a straw and you don't now, I've got your straw. So we don't want that kind of thing to happen. So when we go in with home systems, everybody that we can, we give everyone a home system. And so, like we go into schools, we'll take these and we'll set up wash stations. We'll take a 5-gallon bucket and we'll put 4 or 5 different spigots off of it. Kids can not only get their hands washed, but they can also fill up their water bottles and things like that. Okay? Yes? It depends. This one, I like it because it moves a lot of water fast, and it can provide water for a family for many, many years. And so it's not a limited resource. Like I said, the straw is for a Band-Aid, and this is more for a long-term solution. Yes, ma'am? Well, that's a great question. What I find most of the thing happens is it becomes artwork. Yeah, people hang them on their walls, and we see a lot of things that get done with that. Yes. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Do you give any follow-up to the villages you visit?
Absolutely. Yeah. Follow-up is a real key for us. Yes. Yes, ma'am.
How much is the drinkable book?
The drinkable book is we're looking at $50. We're gonna actually do some things. We kind of a Tom's model with this, buy one give one, and so there'll be more information about that as we get all the government approval and everything.
I'm
Yes,
sorry.
ma'am.
I know I've asked a lot of questions, but excuse my ignorance, but can you just drill a well anywhere?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you guys take
We have to have geological surveys done. We have to pull permits in different countries and things like that. Yeah, there's a lot more to it than just going in and punch it all the way around. Yeah. I can't quite hear you. Yes. Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. That's a great question. She's asking, we utilize a lot of volunteers. And what we do is we do mobilization teams. And so we may have a team, you may have a group of students or people that want to go and they want to, say, drill a well someplace. We can help you with fundraising. We can help you put the team together. We can also help with logistics as well. So it's a lot of fun. Yeah. A lot of it is just from people just like you that say, you know what, I believe. Here's what I do in America. Okay, I'll sit with a group, especially like people my age, and say, okay, now look, you go to Starbucks. Okay, you guys know Starbucks, right? Okay, a venti coffee and one of those little heart scone cookies is about $10. And so what I do is I say, I want you to do something for this year. Give that up once a week, just one time a week, and donate that money to buy a filter. That $10 will put, by the end of the year, will save 52 people's lives. It doesn't take much. It's only a little bit, but it makes a huge difference. And that's why it takes all of us working together to accomplish the goals. Yes. The book, actually what you do is you take the page out and you place it over a bucket and you pour the water through. It works it's like a giant coffee bowl. Yeah. And it clears the water out and it kills bacteria. Yes.
Is that durable advanced like yet?
Not yet. The suitcase system is probably one of the coolest things that we've got in our arsenal, because we can go into an area where there's been a flood. We can go into an area where they may have a creek or stream, and we can produce on demand 1,000 gallons a day of ultra purified water. Yes.
How much time can you use one plate?
About 1 month, depending. Again, it depends on the area where the water is, but it's about 1 month per phase. So this book will last about 4 years. Yes, sir.
Have you guys gotten involved with natural disaster relief and things like that?
Yes, yeah. I've been working, for us, our involvement in Haiti really started full time with the earthquake. Our senator called me up and he said, Ken, we need as many filters as we can to go in with USAID. And so we sent pallet loads of filters in. The doctors were just handing them out. And then the infrastructure, as it started coming back online, then we started mobilizing teams to go over. We drew a lot of well repair. There's a lot of groups that come in. They do a project, they're gone, they're done, and they never come back, which is tragic because they miss out on the greatest blessing, and that's seeing the transformation that can take place because of their project. And so what we do is, for every well we drill, we probably repair 10, 20 wells. It's just, kind of the nature of the beast. We find out where they're broken down wells, we go in and repair them. Yeah?
When did you realize that water was a passion during that specific moment?
Yeah, there was. They're laughing because you missed it yesterday. I was in Nairobi getting ready to come back, and I'm watching the water go down the drain. And I mean, it hits me like a ton of bricks. Water. The kids that I had left in northern Kenya, southern Sudan, were getting the water out of the drain. And at that point, it was one of those things I just could not walk over. And the rest is history. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Do you go in to recognize other type of
Absolutely.
for example, the boat to instead of
Absolutely. Yeah, we do strategic alliances with different groups and organizations all over the world. That's why we've been able to expand so rapidly. There's 38 different countries around the world. Yeah.
Like the companies are working, but the solar filter is working with General Electric.
Yes, General Electric. Yeah, yeah. I tell you what, how many of you guys are NBA fans? Okay, a few of you. Do you guys know the Oklahoma City Thunder? All right. I want you to pay attention to one player. He's out right now. His name's Serge Ibaka. Serge is, okay. Serge is from Congo. He's not from the Democratic Republic of Congo. He's from the Republic of Congo, right next to it. And in Brazzaville, we're going to build a hospital. One of the companies that we're working with is Johnson & Johnson. And the Johnson & Johnson Corporation, they donate over $1 billion worth of goods to people around the world, hospitals and things, organizations. What they're doing is I got a chance to sit down with some of their executives, and I said, do you know we can empty, because I know that they're passionate about hospitals. I said, do you know we can empty out the hospitals? Over 75% of the beds that are in hospitals being taken up in hospitals today. And they said, no, there's no way. And I said, yeah, there's one thing that we can do, and that's bringing clean water. So what they've done is they've shifted. They're taking some clean water initiatives. We're a partner with Johnson & Johnson to provide clean water, utilizing their employees and their friends and stuff in a crowdsourcing campaign to be able to make a huge difference. But it's all started with this hospital, with Serge Ibaka, and I mean, it's been really cool. So be keeping an eye out. I'll go over with Serge in July. We're taking him, possibly Kevin Durant's going to go with us. Kevin Durant's mom's going for sure. I mean, it's going to be a really fun deal, but we'll do a ground dedication for that, and then we'll begin. And guess what we start with? We start with water. So we begin with water and sanitation on the property, and then we go from there. Okay, one more question, and then we got to go. Yes? Go back to your assigned seats. Okay, thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it.